pretty disconnected.
Namaste, good evening and welcome back to the another session of Young Science Leader Series program. I am Dr. Nitin Trivedi hosting this session with Dr. Smruti Mohapatra. Today we have Dr. P.R. Shashank as our speaker. Currently he is working as a scientist, senior scale and faculty at Division of Entomology, ICAR, IARI, New Delhi. He obtained his PhD in Agricultural Entomology from University of Agricultural Science, Bengaluru from 2009 to 2012 as a DST Inspire Fellow and also a University Gold Medalist. He did his MSc in Agricultural Entomology from ANGRU, Guntur from 2007 to 2009 as a ICAR JRF and a Gold Medalist. He did his BSc in Agricultural from UAS, Dharwad from 2003 to 2007 and his research interests include insect systematics and invasive pests. He has more than 45 publications to his credit and he is also a fellow of Entomological Society of India. So with this introduction, I welcome once again Dr. P.R. Shashank and I request Dr. Smruti to welcome our today's speaker. Over to you, Dr. Smruti.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much, sir. I deem it a privilege to welcome sir today to our YSL, that is Young Science Leader Program talk that is meant for the students. I'm Dr. Smruti Smita Mahapatra. I'm a PhD student, final year student. I'm a veterinarian. And I thank Dr. Nitin sir and Dr. Felix sir for giving us this opportunity to intern during this lockdown period. I also welcome podium. With this, I would like to hand over the thing to Shashank sir to welcome to the program.
Thank you, Smriti. Thank you, Dr. Nitin and Dr. Felix. I thank, before starting, I will share my slide. I think it's visible.
Yes. Please make slide.
Yeah. So thank you, Dr. Nitin and Felix. I kept my topic as finding researcher inside me because I never thought I will be a researcher one day. So that's the main purpose. I have kept the title, and I'm covering my entire journey in 3 sections: schooling, higher education, researcher. Coming to my native place, I hail from a village called Kappanahalli, which is situated in transition zones of Western Ghats, and I am from a middle-class farming family. And my parents, Srimati Swarna Kumari and Sri R.V. Rajendra, they were always wanted to give me a best education possible. And during 1990s, when I was 5 years, and during that time, my village does not have any proper schooling facility. So I had to move to my uncle's village, and which is situated around 200 kilometers from my native place. From then onwards, my entire schooling happened in different places, from Ballala Samudra, Shivamogga, Shikaripura, and Bangalore. And I have to thank my aunt, Srimati Asha, who is also my first teacher. By profession, she is a teacher, who accommodated me during my early education from first standard to third standard. Later, due to my personal reasons, I had to move to Shivamogga, which is a district place. And I'm fortunate enough to join one of the best school in Shivamogga, that is Sri Adi Chuchiragiri Vidya Vidyanilaya. And in these 5 years of my schooling in Shimoga, my aunt and my uncle, Srimati Shushma and Dr. R.V. Ranganath, they accommodated and they provided all the facilities for my education. Because during that time, it, I was very poor student actually. And they were very very concerned about my education. Later, when I was when I was in eighth standard, my uncle got transferred to Bangalore. So once again, I had to move to Shikaripura, which is very close to my village. It's 8 kilometers. But because it's ninth and tenth, that means tenth standard. It's a public examination during that time. So my parents decided that you will be staying with uncle and aunt, that is Srimati Sujata and Bhimanam. During that time, my uncle was an education officer in Shikaripura. So I stayed with him, and as I told, I was a very poor performer in school. They were really worried about my education, and they were always asking me, "Are you finishing 10th examination? Are you just getting passed in 10th examination or not?" So fortunately, I completed my 10th examination, and later once again I moved to Bangalore, where my uncle Dr. Rangnath was staying. During that time, during that time I joined APS College, which is one of the famous college in Bangalore, Acharya Patashala, where even the famous Dr. Rajnikant also studied there. And during this 10 plus 2, when I was studying, there is a lot of popularity for tuition classes. So like in every kid, I also joined, like every person, I also joined tuitions. The one person who really inspired me, my physics teacher, I have to remember him, Dr. S.N. Bhatt. And I think I have passed in physics because of him. So he was a wonderful teacher. And after completion of my 10 plus 2, uh, I was mentally prepared. I have to join to BSc Agriculture, because my inspiration for BSc Agriculture came with my grandfather. He was also a graduate in Bachelor's of Agriculture in 1960s, and he worked in Karnataka State Agriculture Department during Green Revolution period as an agriculture officer. And at the same time, my uncle, Dr. R.V. Ranganath, who supported me, and he's my lifelong guide. I think whenever I get a problem, I will go to him. So they suggested me to, okay, you just join agriculture. And when I joined agriculture, I had only one thing in mind. I have to complete my graduation, and uh, I have to get a job near to my village, and I have to do farming, and I have to help my parents. At When I joined agriculture in 2003 in Agriculture College, Bhimananagudi, Gulbarga, it was it was about 600 kilometers from my native place, and it's situated in northern Karnataka. It's a different experience for me. The language, even though it's in Karnataka, the language, the culture in North Karnataka was completely different. And the main purpose of Bachelor's of Education, Bachelor's of Agriculture, is to educate and train students in scientific methods to improve agricultural productivity in a sustainable way. I think this graduation of 4 years has changed my entire career, because it was so hectic. And in 4 years, you have to complete 166 credits, and there are so many courses which really inspires you. Other than agriculture sciences, you have 15 courses under basic sciences and humanities, and other courses like basic sciences and humanities, like psychology. You'll study human psychology also in there. And there are closely related fields like veterinary. You will also study veterinary sciences and fisheries and sericulture. So these are all different sciences where at least you will know about those courses. And also we had this 3 months RAVE program, that is Rural Area Work Experience Program. That means we had to, they will form a small groups, and we have to stay in a village for 3 months, and we have to analyze the agricultural patterns, what are the farming systems which are in that village. And this course have really helped me. And during this time, as a person, I have changed myself. And before this, till 10 plus 2, I was a very introvert person. I hesitate to talk. And during this period of my graduation, I really thank a lot of people, especially my friends who are in this group, and two of my teachers, Dr. V.B. Narkund and Dr. K.T. Venden. Dr. Nargund is a pathologist and Dr. K.T. Venden is a microbiologist who inspired many of uh, graduate students at that time. I'm one of them. And during this time, I think I started public speaking, and this is a picture I really, I wanted to put this because this is my first extempore speech. I, I I had this 5 minutes time to speak on telephone, okay, during that time, and I got first prize. Okay, that's really shocking for me during that time. And this 4 years, because it was very new college of agriculture, Bhimra and Gudi, and I got a lot of opportunity to go to sports, cultural events, many debates, and also I represented university in national social service. And during this entire period, uh, a lot of teachers, friends, they also inspired me to go for post graduation. Till that time, I just wanted to complete my graduation and go into State Department or anywhere near my home and do farming. But this 4 years, I got changed as a person, and I started reading for national examinations, like one which most of the agriculture graduates will go for is ICAR, All India Entrance Examination for admissions for PG. So I got 14th rank in that. I never expected it, but of course, we have spent a lot of time. We have studied for around 1 year for this examination, and after I got 14th rank, I chose one of the famous college in India for agriculture. That is Agriculture College, Papatla in Andhra Pradesh. So this is one of the oldest agriculture college, and I went there for my masters in 2007. And I personally, I always tell this is a modern Gurukul, and because the teachers there, most of the teachers at that time when I joined, all are the alumni of IRA, one of the best college in India, and they are all very strict. You have to, and because in MSc, you know that you will have only 5 to 6 people for class, or maximum of 10 people. So they will concentrate on every student. So, and I thank the Agriculture College Bapatla because this is a place where a good foundation for my entomology subject has been happened. And the another important advantage, where because I have concentrated more on entomology and my work is because this place is very remote, so you don't have any time or any accessibility to any other activities. And this is completely a new place for me. A lot of cultural exchange happened. I met a lot of people, a lot of friends from other states, and at the same time, I have been allotted to Dr. M.S.V. Chalam. He is my master's guide, and I'm the first student for him. And he called me and he told, "What you want to do?" I just told him, "Sir, after my MSc, I want to go to job. So you give me such a work, I have to finish in stipulated time." He told, "Okay, I am a specialist. I am specialized in insect taxonomy, and you're my first student. You have to work on insect taxonomy." I told, "Okay, sir, I will work on insect taxonomy." So he decided uh, to start learning on insect taxonomy. So for listeners, I just want to have brief what is taxonomy, why it is important. Taxonomy is nothing but theory and practice of describing, naming, and classifying living things. Why it is important? You all know that. You just imagine if individual person uh, doesn't have a name, okay, how it will be completely chaotic. Okay, so taxonomy is very important. And why insect taxonomy? So being an entomologist, we are always fascinated about insects, and of course they are like 90% of total number of animal species are insects, and they dominate the earth. Okay, insects rule the world. Okay, and till now uh, we don't know the answer for the fundamental question, how many species are on Earth. Okay, and this is a recent paper. You can just go through it, Amora et al., if you want further information. And it is predicted that 86% of all species on land and 91% of those in seas are yet to be discovered. And when it comes to India, it's still more, I feel. And Evo Wilson, a very famous naturalist, he always told we need about 15,000 entomologists working for centuries to complete the task of classifying the remaining 90% of unidentified organisms. So there's a lot of scope, and we need to discover in a rapid rate. So my guide suggested me, okay, you want to go to job and also you want to work on taxonomy for my sake. So I asked him, okay, sir, I will. So he gave a topic such that it will include both classical taxonomy and a management aspect. So the title of my PhD topic is MSc topic is taxonomic studies on leafhopper and planthopper fauna associated with rice ecosystem and their management. Planthoppers and leafhoppers are tiny insects, as you see here. They are just 2 to 3 mm size, and they're important pests of rice. Okay, they suck the sap from the plant, and plants will dry later, and they also transmit viral diseases. Okay, so my master's guide suggested me, you go to Karnataka only and you collect insects from coastal Karnataka. Anyway, Andhra, I have already done a lot of work. So I went to Karnataka, especially the coastal Karnataka, which is very important rice belt, and we have gone to about 16 locations, and we have collected so many leafhoppers, and we come up with about 26 species of leafhoppers and planthoppers which are associated with rice. At the same time, my guide suggested me to go for evaluate few pesticide molecules or insecticides generally against important pests of rice, which is there's one species of brown plant hopper. So this is mainly because I was only thinking about job. Okay, so I have evaluated those molecules, and I have completed. And after, when I finished my masters, I have attended so many interviews, uh, and I got job in good companies, especially ITC. I still remember I have got appointment as a leave superintendent, especially on tobacco procurement. But during this time, my family suggested me, why can't you go for PhD? Because you don't have any responsibility at this point of time, and you can do, because you have enough time. There's only one opportunity in life. So I thought, why can't I give it a try? Okay, anyway, I have done up to MSc, and I will try for PhD. So I joined University of Agriculture Sciences, Bangalore for PhD. So it happened so that fortunately I got Dr. A.K. Chakravarti as my major guide, and he was working at that time on insect pest management and especially on insect behavior. And at the beginning, he told me to take whatever work which you have interest. And so I planned my research of work for my 3 years on same MS continuation of my master's, brown plant hopper resistance, which is very important for Karnataka also, which is mainly on screening different germplasms of rice and look for resistance in particular insect, for particular insect. But one day he came up with this idea. He told Shashank, I know that you have already prepared your plan of work, but I have one challenging work if you can take. There is one pest called the shoot and fruit borer, which is a leptopteran larvae, which feeds on castor and cardamom, which is very famous, very valuable commodity in southern Karnataka, spices. But I personally feel these two populations may be different. So I told, okay, sir, I will just go through the literature and I will try to take that problem. At the same time, he told you go and meet Dr. C. A. Viraktamat. He's a doyen of Indian taxonomy, insect taxonomy. He works on leafhopper taxonomy. and very famous taxonomist in India. So I went to CA Raktamat, and I asked him, "Sir, this is what I want to do for my PhD." He told, well, "Shashank, this is not so simple as you're thinking. It You have to address so many aspects in this if you want to say that these two populations are different species. You have to address behavioral aspects, molecular aspects, and phenomenal aspects. All these three are important to say that these are different species." So I thought of that, and I discussed with Dr. C.A. Raktamat, and he suggested me, "You go ahead with your plan." And I formulated a plan along with my guide, and we wanted people to work. We wanted help from different people and different labs. So my guide suggested you search for particular work, for example, especially pheromones, because pheromones are nothing but these are semiochemicals which elicit some behavioral changes in any organisms. Especially, we were working on insect sex pheromones. That means male and female, how a male will get attracted to female, which are the chemicals which are responsible. So we need a chemist, and I was looking for a chemist who is working on insect pheromones. So fortunately, we found Dr. Banu. She was working as a chief scientist in Pest Control of India. It's a private entity. So personally, I requested her, "Ma'am, this is my work. I want to see that two populations. Is there any variation in pheromonal components, phenomenon chemistry?" She agreed, and I requested my guide for allowing her to be a member. At the same time, there are another aspect of pheromones where we have to work at antenna level. You have to check the molecules after chemistry. You have to analyze those molecules. So I had to go to ICAR, NBAR, that is National Bureau of Agriculturally Imported Insect Resources, which is in Bangalore only. So I met Dr. Bhaktavasalam. Now he is a director of that institute. He is very famous in semiochemicals work. So he told, "Okay, Shashank, a part of work you can do in my lab." And there is another work which was remaining, and during that time, the DNA barcoding was gaining in 2009 and 10. DNA barcoding was gaining very popularity. So I asked my friend, who is Dr. Raju, who is my roommate. He was working in a crop physiology. Actually, he was mainly working on drought resistance and all. So he told, "This is very simple aspect. You can work in my lab." So I used his lab for molecular studies. So the good thing happened is, in this is, there are four different aspects, and four different labs I can work. And I learned a lot of things, especially about managing resources and all. And we came up with so much of data. Yes, morphology, this all entire morphology from one lab, from scanning electron microscopy to fundamental basics of understanding morphological structures. Behavioral studies, we have done a lot of behavioral studies. I have to tell, this one picture, it took about 1.5 years to take this picture, and we have taken this picture in night 2:30, I think. And most of the mating behavior, how at what time the insects will mate, the two populations, there's a difference between mating time and all we have to study. And even pheromonal components. This is a electroantennogram. So you will use antenna and for analyzing it, how the particular insect antenna will respond to a particular chemicals. And also this data we have generated on molecular aspects, DNA barcoding, and how the species which is infesting cardamom is completely different. And the entire study and hard work came out as four good publications in good journals. And also we have uh, published published our new species Conogethys sahyadrensis, and we have named it as Sahyadrensis to dedicate to Western Ghats. Sahyadri Hills is Western Ghats because the origin of cardamom is Western Ghats. And we presumed at that time that the these particular species might have originated along with the cardamom. So we have named it as a Sihadrensis. And fortunate enough, during all this hard work, I also got a university gold medal during that time. Later, the important things, three important things which changed during my doctoral degrees. This is where I actually the researcher inside me was born actually, and entire journey I learned the how important the passion should be for your career. If you till that masters, I was only looking for a job. Okay, from my PhD, I was thinking about career in research. Okay, that's a huge leap for my career, actually my life, and I learned to be patient during this period because especially when you are doing a behavioral experiments, you don't get data for one or two experiments. You have to repeat it like 30 times, 40 times, and I told you one picture we have waited for 1.5 years. And perseverance it is one thing which really is very important for research and planning. When you are working with 4 labs, you have to plan very meticulously, because the slots you have to go at particular time and you have to be there, and all things you have to uh, and this is a learning experience for me. At the same time, multitasking for all these aspects, importance of collaborations and acknowledging people. During this period, I learned how to acknowledge people, because entire career there are so many people, they help you, they come across they help you in your success failures. Okay, and you should acknowledge them. And during this period, I told I worked in 4 labs. So in 4 labs the cultures are different. I used to discuss different aspects of science with different people. So I came to know that there are so many diverse fields within this. So later, after that PhD, I thought I'll just join agriculture, University of Agriculture, as Bangalore or Shimoga, which is in my own state. But destiny has its own way. So in 2010, there was a call for agriculture research services. Only agriculture research services examination is conducted by Agriculture Scientist Recruitment Board under DARE, that is under Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare. It started in 1973 when MS Swaminathan was the chair. Main aim of this agriculture scientist recruitment board is to identify and recommend the best talent as per this requirement of the ICAR. So whenever ICAR gives, we need 10 posts, they will call for examination and they will recruit and they will send to ICAR. So every year they conduct ICAR net examination. Many people, you may not be knowing, there are about 57 approved disciplines in ICAR net examination. Many of youngsters, you can try for ICAR net examination. Okay, there are so many opportunities. And they are also involved in ARS recruitments. At present, there are 3 stages in ARS recruitments: preliminary examination, mains, and interview. Okay, and there are so many posts which may be they may be recruiting. Please look into ICR websites, ISRB website. I have given a link here. And also they are involved in assessment of scientists under career advancement scheme. Whoever join ICR like me, after 5 years, after 4 years, 8 years, they will also do assessments of our scientific career. 2 people I have to thank, Dr. Gundappa and Mallikarjun Jir, because during this time when I was busy with my PhD and all, they really suggested me seriously think about ERS exam, and they have shared all entomology materials with me. And for the same exam, we are all sitting. See, it's very important. You have to share your resources. Okay, if you can share, that's the best service you can do. Okay, and both of them also now scientists in ICR. So my scientific career in ICR started from July 2012. Whenever a ICR scientist, ERS, they join, they have to undergo a 7 months foundation course in NARM, Hyderabad. Okay, it's a ICR institute, and it's a very good foundation course. 3 months it will be foundation training in NARM. 1 month will be orientation training in the institute where you will be posted. And another 3 months you will have attachment training. See, in ICR, when you join, it's not that you have worked in particular field, you will get the same job, same field for your research. So you will be mentally and psychologically, you should be prepared for whatever job you will get. That's what this training will makes you. Fortunately, it's a surprise for me. I got best trainee award in the last day of the training, and this is really a surprise for me. And I thank all my fellow trainees for this. And we have learned a lot of things, for especially during this training. Project proposals, how to write project proposals. There were excellent lectures on that. How to there are so many things which are useful for research career. So my first posting was, like I told, you don't get a choice of posting in ICR. So my first posting was in NRRA Cuttack, National Rice Research Institute. And Dr. Trilochan Mahapatra, at present DG ICR, was then director of CRRA, NRRA. So he told me, Shashank, you have to work on insect pests under changing climate scenario. And my head at that time, Dr. Anand Prakash, he was so cooperative. So he told, okay, until you are here, you whatever work you are in, you do it properly. My help will be there. At that time, also in my mind, I was only thinking about taxonomy. I have to continue taxonomy. So one aspect I have put in that DNA barcoding of insect pests of rice in India. But uh, I was there for only 9 months, but I have learned a lot of things, especially the importance of personal life, because at that point of time, when in CRRI, NRRI, all were young scientists. So we used to work in lab up to 8, 9, and when we get time, we used to meet together. We used to enjoy a lot, and also at the same time, I understood how important is me time. So everybody should have their own, at least weekly, 1 hour, half an hour, daily, if it is possible. You have a me time. You think about yourself, what you are doing. Are you happy with your life or all? And during the same time, I co-authored a book called named Climate Change Impact on Crop Pests, along with Dr. Anand Prakash. I have to thank him because I have contributed very less in that, but it was a wonderful book. Later, my life changed. Okay, I met my love of life. She's Dr. Harita. Uh, so at that time, she was in IRA. So I requested ICR for moving from CRRI to IRI. I'm really fortunate I got transferred to IRI. And I'm really fortunate to have Harita as my life partner, because we both share love for science and research. We are every time when we interact, we talk a lot of science, okay, along with other things. And many times when we talk about women, everybody tells about men's support should be there. Of course, it should be there, but partnership matters not only for women, it's for men too. It's very important. If you are very comfortable with your personal life, you can really contribute. So in July 2013, I joined this prestigious institute, Indian Agriculture Research Institute. Every agriculture graduate will dream of joining this. You have IRA alumnus. There are 3 World Food Prize laureates are there, like Swaminathan sir, Vassal sir, and Ratanal sir, recently 2020. And it's one of the country's premier national institute for agriculture research, education, and extension, and seat of green revolution. And the good thing with IRA is it's also a deemed university. So you get an opportunity to teach uh, PG and also doctoral students. And many of may not be knowing, we have about 25 courses for PG and doctoral. Okay, those who are prospectors who want to join IRA, please check into website. There are so many opportunities at IRA. So at the same time, I'm fortunate enough to get posted in Division of Entomology, IRA. And this is one of the oldest division in IRA. And the main mandate of this division is basic and strategic research in entomology, academic excellence in the area of research, post-graduation, education, human resource development, and services in insect science and technologies. So there are so many good achievements from this division, and 3 achievements I have to highlight is, one is This is the first division which started entomology course in the country. And this is a division where you all understand now neem is important. Scientifically, they have the mode of action of neem, especially azadirachtin, has been proved in this division. And also the resistance for Bt in insects have been proved, published from this division. And I'm really fortunate to get posted in division and also get posted in the section in the division, that is National Pusa Collection. National Pusa Collection has a huge history. It's a more than 115 years old collection, insect collection in India, and it's a national repository for agriculturally important insects. And we have about 1.43 million specimens, more than 10,000 species, and it's an important reference collection for biodiversity research. And the major trust area in our lab is insect identification service, taxonomic research, and teaching. And I have to thank one person who brought me here, Dr. V.V. Ramamurthy, who is a renowned insect taxonomist, and he's my well-wisher, and all my colleagues and administrative staff. Because from the joining 2013 till now, all my colleagues are very, very encouraging, and administrative staff were very supportive. So my area of research from 2013 till now, I have mainly worked in four aspects of taxonomy or systematics broadly. The one is insect pest diagnostics. Okay, I will explain in next slides how important it is. Taxonomic revisions and new species discovery, resolving phylogenetic debates, monitoring and management of invasive pests. Along with this, I'm also involved in citizen science programs, outreach programs, and also for taxonomic purpose, so many research expeditions we have undergone. We have, and also insect collection management, insect collection digitization, which are very important in present time. Coming to insect pest diagnostics. So insect pest diagnosis is very, very important. Every year we diagnose, I myself diagnose more than 200 insects specimen from different institutes, colleges. As you all know that identifying insect is fundamental for any biological research, especially for agricultural research. There are so many pests. In India, we have more than 100 agricultural research institutes, 75 agricultural research universities, and every institute have entomology department. So there are so many entomologists who are working in this field. So many entomologists, they cannot identify all the insect pests. So we provide a free of cost service to for the identification of insects, and we have about 5 different taxonomists working in different groups. So every year we identify around 2,000 insect specimen from our lab, and there are about more than 40 institutes or universities from who are beneficiaries from our lab. If you just do a rough estimate how much personally I have contributed indirectly. So from last 8 years, I have just identified 1,619 specimens. So in US, one specimen they will charge about $25. This is a simple example. I'm taking insect diagnostic laboratory at Cornell University. They charge $25. If you calculate that, we have indirectly saved about 28 lakhs rupees for Indian economy, government. Okay, that's the importance of insect pest diagnostics. Coming to the next part of my work is taxonomic revisions or new species discoveries. I already told you how important taxonomy is, and when you go for explorations, you are going to get new species, new range records, new records to India, new pests, so many things. When I started working on insect taxonomy, I have chosen one group, that is Lepidoptera. Lepidoptera, which consists of butterflies and moths. Okay, butterflies, I think many of you know. Moths, which are uh, nocturnal insects. Okay, so they are very important agriculturally as a pest. So I have taken that group for my studies. Uh, Till now, I have published about 4 new species, 4 new host records, new range records. That means if that particular pest or particular species which is present in Western Ghats but which are not present in Eastern Ghats or which is in Northeast, so those records. And checklist, that means if particular family, how many number of species are present, the species names are valid or not, those things. A lot of keys helps in identification of many species, and so many new records to India. And I really thank four projects I got when I joined IRA. Immediately, I have been taken a network project on insect biosystematics, which was a huge project. There are about 12 centers. I was one of the co-PA in that. And in 2014, I'm fortunate enough to get a DST SCRB Young Scientist Award for my research on one of the moth pest group, which really helped me to kickstart my research. And in 2017, DRDO, they have funded me to work in Ladakh region for analyzing what are the different pests, especially moth pests, which are present in Ladakh. And recently, we got one core research grant to work on this, on leaf miners, especially leaf rollers. And during this time, I've also undergone 2 months training at Biodiversity Lab NCBS with Krishnamay Kunte, one of the one of the best lab in India for butterfly research. And I have learned very good things, especially the lab culture and how to do your experiments and all. And they're very professional group. Okay, so you learn. There's a lot to learn. And during my because my PhD is completely was on one species complex. When I started my work, there are so many species I was unable to identify it actually. So these are the people, these six people, I really thank them. They are working on different groups of moths, and they helped me to learn those groups. And still till now, okay, they are my collaborators, and they are helping me in regular identification service and also for many publications. The next aspect which I have concentrated on resolving phylogenetic debates. In a simple terms, what is this means? If I or my colleague, we describe any species, for example, a new or it may be already present, which is in India. So we do some morphological and molecular analysis, and we try to put our Indian fauna in global scenario, which family it is under, which family it is going, or in which subfamily this particular species is placed or not. So we started doing this in 2016 actually. One of my friend and collaborator, Dr. Naresh Mishram, who is a leafhopper expert who works with me. So we together, actually most of this taxonomic part he started doing, like especially all this work is in leafhopper. So most of the description he used to do it. So we thought, why can't we go for phylogenetic analysis? Why can't we go for sequencing multiple genes and trying to place our genera or species in tree of life, where it is exactly going. So when we have done our first paper, we come up with it came in PLOS one, and it was a description of new genus and a lot of phylogenetic changes we have suggested. And we felt this is a really good area to work. So later we have published so many papers in good journals like PHA, Zootaxa, and Journal of Asia Pacific Entomology on all these aspects, especially on phylogenetic aspects. And we got about 4 external funded projects from DBT, SCRB, and many funding agencies in this area. And the important area which I accidentally started working on this is invasive pests, especially on monitoring and management. I used to get a lot of insects for identification. Dr. Chandrasekhar, who is also a scientist in Pune, he sent a sample of tomato pinworm, a larva which is very tiny, and which feeds on tomato leaves, and also it feeds on tomato fruits, which is very devastating pest in Americas. So he sent this specimen. I told Dr. Chandrasekhar that this is an invasive pest. We have to report it. So slowly, it actually it started like we started working on its reporting, from reporting to invasion histories, how it has started spreading in India, and later we started working on its biology, damage, and host ranges, and we also came up with a rapid action plan. Rapid action plan is very important. Whenever an invasive pest, that means which is not native to India, which enters in India, what exactly at the beginning you have to do is very important. That means once it is reported, you have to control in that place as early as possible so that it can't spread to other place. So we have published a rapid action plan for that, and also we have studied population diversity. Recently we have published how this pest may uh, increase the risk of this pest in changing climate scenario. So during this process, the entire new area of invasive pest, I unknowingly I got interest into that, and I have started working on that. So now we are working on different groups of invasive pests, and I thank all these collaborators, Dr. Kaleshwar Swamis, Dr. Sachin Fand, and Peng Han. Peng Han is a Chinese entomologist who is working on invasive pests, and he's a wonderful person. We wrote a wonderful review in Journal of Pest Science on what are the challenges of invasive pests for Asia. It's a wonderful review. You can go and just check. During the same time, in 2016, I was got promoted to father. See, it's I always told it's your balance between personal life and a professional life is very important. For that balance, it's very difficult when both are working couples, and you need to give a lot of time for parenting, and you should have your family support. And I always thank my parents and also my in-laws, especially Lakshmi Parvati and Srinivas Rao, and also my extended family, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law Vivek and Satya, for a lot of support during this period. So coming to faculty and guide in me, actually when I joined in IRA, there is a beautiful process of getting into faculty. Whoever join IRA will not become faculty. Actually, you have to earn your facultyship. So it took about 2 years for me to get faculty, and later another 2 years for becoming a guide. So till now, I've guided 4 MSc students. I'm guiding 2 PhD students, Twinkle and Santosh, and they have worked. All of them, they have worked in different insect groups, and which are agriculturally important. So that what we thought is it will be benefit for them, and also they will get trained in taxonomy. And also, I had there are three people: Anand, Rahul, and Shivanshu, who worked with me in my projects, and they have also got trained in insect taxonomy. And now my student Komer is there. She's working on microlepidoptera. Right? Till now we are working on macromoths. Now we are shifted to micromoths. Especially she is concentrating on Delhi. There's a lot of diversity in Delhi, especially in micromoths. I'm also teaching 4 courses for MSc and PhD, which I'm specialized in. And I got this opportunity to teach Afghanistan students under Anastu program. There is a Indo-Afghanistan program called for agriculture, and where Anastu, that is Afghanistan National Agriculture Sciences and Technology University, which is funded by India. They have a collaboration with ICAR. So I was associated with 2 courses. It's a great experience for teaching them. Really, you have to. It's like you have to spend a lot of time to teach them. It's a good experience for me. So the other aspects which I really enjoyed is research expeditions. I think many of taxonomists are fortunate enough, so we work with nature. So till now, we have covered about 14 states, about more than 50 locations, and most. I told you that I work on moths, which are nocturnal. That means they are active in nights. So most of our work starts when all the researchers sleeps. Okay, it's in nights. You have to collect them, you have to process them, preserve them properly, you have to identify them, and you have to come to museum and uh, catalog them. So all these aspects which are interconnected and which comes under insect collection management and digitization. During this process, we thought that why can't we go, because most of the museums in abroad, they are now digitized. So you can just by the click of mouse, you can see the specimens which are present in those museums. So we thought at least we will have a beginning. So we have last year we have hosted our lab website, National Pusa Collection, Rashtriya Pusa Sangrah. So I'm really thank my director AK Singh sir for giving this opportunity. And at the same time, I also hosted another website, Blue City of India, which is another important pest in agriculture. If you go there, there are about 50 species in India, and we have covered about 35 species. If you click on that species, you can ID them, you can get information about those species. These are very important if in a long term. Okay, once this database get enriched, and it can be used for different purposes. So I'm also involved in outreach and citizen science program. One of the editor in Moths of India. It's very innovative uh, thing that is an internet-based peer-reviewed resource which is devoted to Indian moths. Anybody can take photo of a moth. They can upload in this Moths of India website. You get an ID, and your photograph will be updated in the portal. And we do a lot of extension studies, especially one of the famous extension studies, Mera Gaon Mera Gaurav, which is our Prime Minister's dream project. And every site, the 5 scientists, they adopt 5 villages. Okay, it's one of the very active program. And also from our lab, we have conducted so many trainings, especially on DNA barcoding of insect diagnosis. And so many students, they visit our lab, and also we have a good apiary to show, and lot of mothing activities. This is one of the citizen science program. Last year we have conducted some National Moth Week. I'm also involved in that, and Delhi Big Butterfly Counts we have conducted at Pusa campus. There's so many outreach activities I've been involved. And one slide I have included here: opportunities in insect systematics and taxonomy. I, I, uh, I personally felt people who work in taxonomy, when I was started working in taxonomy, there are very less opportunities. Especially we have to go to government organization like Zoological Survey of India, ICAR, Botanical Survey of India, or many of you may be knowing National Museum of Natural History, New Delhi, or Forest Research Institute. And otherwise, you have to go to many agricultural or traditional university as a faculty, and you can work in taxonomy. Or nowadays, there is along with these government organization, because of course the major employment is provided by these government organization, and but there are so many non-government organizations. They are doing wonderful work. If you take ATRI, BNHS, Applied Environmental Research Foundations. For example, this month is a big butterfly month. I'm really fortunate to create awareness about butterflies and all. You can see here there are so many organizations, the non-government organization, who are involved in big butterflies. There are more than 25 organizations. So you can generate, if you are aware of biodiversity taxonomy, you can generate employment by your own also, or by contacting these non-government organizations. The last important slide I have put, this is very important. I felt in recent scenarios, the balance right between working couples and how men can contribute. I have gone through this article in 2015, this Pew Research Center. 6 in 10 working moms say balancing job and family is very difficult. But I personally feel it's a US data. So if somebody do a survey in India, the data will be something different. And how, as a man, how we can help our life partners, or anybody, like women, in uh, in getting their jobs or run their jobs smoothly. And the first thing I feel is you have to understand and respect each other's profession. If you are a working couple, because nowadays I have seen most of the couples, young couples, are working couples, and I'm being in beautiful marriage in from almost it's 8 years of my marriage. So I always felt, okay, you have to kill your male ego first. Okay, there are a lot of things that many people may not agree. There are a lot of things where in our society it is a taboo that this work has to be done by male, this work has to be done by female. Slowly you have to understand this is not the same now. Okay, you have to understand both are equal, and you have to support your uh, partner, and also start sharing household work and rescheduling and sick days. I think COVID has really taught us how to share household work. Okay, so this will help now. I think most of the working couples, they do household work together, and especially take more responsibility during career advancements. This is very important. See, the one person who is having, like, after 4 years he may be applying for career advancement, he will be very busy with his documentation and all. See, other partners should understand and should help and educate elders. It's very important. See, we all live in a cosmopolitan society, and still we have a lot of taboos along with us. So you have to educate your elders or parents, those elders who are in your home, especially the division of labor in home. Okay, there is nothing like male has to do this work and female has to do this work. And please enjoy the process. Okay, if you start enjoying the process of helping your partner, you really enjoy doing that consistently. And a big thanks to seniors, students, colleagues, collaborators, administrative staff of my institute, and everyone who helped me, and these agencies who supported my research: ICAR, DST, DRDO, and MOEF, and DBT, of course, because I'm really indebted to them, especially ICR and DST. From my graduation time, from my entire career, I got funding from these agencies. And last but not least, these six people who are there for me in good and bad moment of my life: my brothers and my cousins, Dr. Deepak, Suhas, my brother Bharat, Dheeraj, Vikas, and Teja. I really thank them, and I thank the organizers, Dr. Nitin and Dr. Felix, for organizing this wonderful Young Science Leader series. It's a great opportunity for us to come and interact with you people. Thank you very much. Over to you, Nitin.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Shashank. Uh, Dr. Smriti, you can continue.
Uh, Thank you so much, Dr. Shashank sir. It was a wonderful deliberation on your part. Uh, I'm happy to let you know that you started your career as an air scientist from Cuttack, which is my home state.
Dr. Shashank,
And
I
as a
request you to exit the presentation.
as a veterinarian and a student who is in the final year of PhD student, for someone who has gone through ICR and joined PG, PhD, and your career has been the same way as I have also joined PG, PhD through ICR. So the importance of ARS and the importance of ARS scientists in a society, we can understand even if yeah, from the agriculture background or from fishery background or from a veterinary background. Thank you, sir. There are a couple of questions that I would like to come up with.
Yeah, we'll start.
As I saw your
Dr. Smriti will start the question answer a bit late. So before that, I would like to thank
okay,
Dr.
sir.
Shashank for such an excellent and informative talk. And
Thank you.
yeah, I can see that you are a fun-loving guy and very hard-working, because coming from sincere and a humble background, and with your hard work and dedication, today you are placed at one of the most prestigious institute of our India. So a big congratulations for your achievements, and you are doing a wonderful work in the area of entomology. And especially, I enjoyed your talk because I am from microbiology and algal biotechnology field, and we didn't, get a chance to hear the people from ICAR or IARI just because of the conflict of interest. Because until unless you will not have such kind of interaction, you'll not able to know the things, sir. So
Yeah.
I thoroughly
Thank you.
enjoyed. And the one thing which you have mentioned, the me time, it is very important because generally in today's time we say that 24 hours is not a sufficient time period, and we give time to all so many other activities, but we hardly give time to ourselves. And if you really want to do something in your life, then first you should give time to yourself, and then you can think for others. Again, I would like to thank for sharing information about your institute and department, and uh, uh, again that ARS, the steps for ARS and different areas in which you can get
Yeah.
ARS and all. That information was very important. And yes, being a agricultural country, it is a need of the art that most of the students, they come and they join agricultural institute in India, because I think our country is identified as an agricultural
Agriculture.
country. And again, thank you for thanks for sharing your outreach activities and opportunities in insect systematics and taxonomy. So I think you have answered few of our questions in your presentation only. So thank you so much once again for
Thank you.
your your talk. Now over to you, Dr. Smriti. You can take questions.
Thank you, sir. So there are certain aspects of your research that I found very, very interesting.
Yeah, I
So
explained.
one of them I would like to know regarding entomology. So what would be your take on the recent locust attack that happened in India?
It's a different ball game. Actually, locust especially the management aspect, it involves coordination between so many countries. Okay, the origin of locust swarm starts from the northern Africa, especially the northeastern Africa. Okay, so if you take the origin, there are so many countries which are involved in management. So once swarm starts, you have to get on board Afghanistan, Pakistan, so India. So it's an international problem actually. And this is one pest which was there like continuously, but this year actually, because of COVID and all, the outbreaks, at the beginning it was difficult to manage for the locust warning organization, because in India the locust management is taken care by locust warning organization, which is an exclusive organization for locust monitoring locusts and management. So, uh, of course, there are now it's under control, luckily. Okay, uh, uh, but the one good takeaway message is there are the locust warning organization or any locust research, because these are long-term researchers. Okay, this is like taking an insurance. Today, if you do some work, tomorrow you will not get any results. Okay, that means monitoring. Many policymakers, they will also 40 scientists, they are deputed there, what they are doing, so much of salary is going on, but it is not like that. So this year it's an outbreak, but another 10 years it may not appear. But government has to invest like an insurance policy on locust warning organization. And at the same time, the research institute like IRI, we have started once again after so many years, we have started doing research on fundamental aspects of locust. Because in between there are no scientists which were really interested in doing these aspects. But now, once again, IRI has taken that, and my colleagues, they have started working on locust. So that's really important actually. Sometimes these outbreaks will wake up. They give a wake up calls to you. Smriti.
Thank you, sir. So there's one more question. What would be your take on the impact of illegal trade of butterflies? Because some of your
Now,
research has also been
yeah,
on butterflies.
yeah. Actually, I generally work on moth, but of course, my colleagues work on butterflies. See, this is a very good question, actually. Say, till 2002, there was no law on this. Okay, a lot of illegal trade was happening at that time. But after 2002, because of Biodiversity Act, okay, a lot of things have been restricted. Okay, I really appreciate the people who brought biodiversity law. Of course, many times it is difficult for us to go to surveys and all because of biodiversity law, but it is very important for conservation of biodiversity in India. So now I think, my personal opinion, the lot of illegal trades are reduced, maybe happening in very very small areas, otherwise it's completely reduced.
So, so one more last question would be the impact of global change on pest control and the insects. The impact
Yeah,
of global change,
yeah, actually
climate change.
one of our work was on especially on invasive impact of climate change on invasives. See, this required a lot of long term data, but at this point of time we are observing there is a lot of change in behavior of these pests. Okay, there is a lot of sporadic outbreaks we are seeing, and because of change in uh, weather parameters. I don't say it as a climate change because it's more of a weather events nowadays, erratic weather events. Okay. However, one of my colleague and professor, Dr. Subhash Chandra, he's working on impact of climate change on agricultural insects in IARI. So they brought very very interesting results, especially on rice pests, and because once there is a change in climate, the habitat of rice also changes. Okay, so it is more congenial for insect pests to breed in the that's micro habitat. Actually, rice, we have a micro habitat. Okay, if you just go into a rice field, you'll understand the difference between the temperature outside and the rice field. Okay, so this micro habitat changes are real. Okay, so personally, I believe change in weather and climate is real. Okay, and it's really it have adverse impact on insect pests, especially
So
for
your
humans. Smriti, please.
thank you. So your last few words for ARS aspirants. Your last few
ARS
words for ARS
aspirants.
aspirants.
Oh, okay. So my takeaways now, the syllabus has actually a lot of things have changed, but one thing is see, competitive exams is my opinion. What you write in the 3 hours or 2.5 hours, because you will be evaluated for only the 2.5 hours. Okay, you may be having so much of research knowledge, you may be having so much of scientific knowledge, so many papers, doesn't matter. You have to read, you have to practice, you have to study the same thing repeatedly. That means if you're taking 5 minutes to write one page, you have to practice so much that you have to finish that in 3 minutes. Okay, it's completely a hard work game and also a smart work. I personally feel smart work because everybody is nowadays they're trying best to read, but you should also expect which questions may appear. Okay, so those things you have to practice extra, and these are very important for any examination, especially for ERS. You have very less time, you have to answer so many questions. Okay, and we used to do is, many of the entomology aspirants, I say, they don't write diagrams. This is very fundamental for insect morphology and all. They write, for example, insect mouth parts. They don't write a diagram. They start writing about mouth parts. See, if I'm an examiner, if somebody has wrote a diagram and named it, half of the marks they will give for that, because they know that you have understood that question. So it's more of a smart work and practice, Smriti.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, now over to Dr. Nitin Trivedi, sir.
Yeah, I also have a couple of questions. That the first question is that can you suggest some basics books on this entomology who wants to understand this subject?
Sir, there are so many. The very very fundamental book is the Insecta, which is written by which is from Tamil Nadu TNU, which is available now online. Okay, and there are so many books. There are very few old books. Insect morphology by Snodgrass, because they are old, but they are classical books. Okay, so there are so many books. For competitive exams, it's a different ball of a game, sir. Actually, for competitive exams nowadays, there are so many new authors. They come up with so many new stuff. Okay, so for competitive exams, I don't suggest any books, but for classical books, I suggest is Snodgrass, and there is one on insect classification by IMS, which is very old, but is very very relevant till now. And also
Okay.
there's one book on book named Insects by Triple Horn. That's very good book, which covers most of the aspects of insects.
Yeah, and the next question is that insects are, we can say direct or indirect component of the ecosystem because they helps to maintain the ecosystem. And now you see that these days this industrialization and there is a sudden change in the environment. So how to maintain or preserve the insects which are already there?
Yeah, this is very good question, but it's very complex question also, sir. Actually, thing is, recently you might have read about insect Armageddon and all. So much of loss in insect diversity in Europe and all. But even at least to say that we have lost so many insects, we don't have data, especially in India. See, the problem at our the things are long-term data management systems we don't have to understand the change in insect diversity. That's really important. And few institute nowadays like NCBS and IAC, there are few groups who started understanding long-term data. But especially my perception about this is especially semi-urban area. At this point of time, the urban areas in India are growing slower compared to semi-urban areas. Okay, so semi-urban areas, the introduction, the classical urban planning is very important. Classical means the urban, you have to integrate parks, you have to integrate lot of natural vegetation in urban planning. So that is very important for conservation of any diversity in urban areas. So that is lacking in most of the semi-urban area planning. So it just grows wherever space is there, people will just start building. So the urban planning is very important, and inclusion of natural habitats in urban planning is very important. If you see Chandigarh, sir, many of you might have seen Chandigarh planning is very old, but so much of things they have included, so much of gardens. These are all natural habitats. Okay, they conserve a lot of insects or a lot of fauna and flora.
Okay. And as you are working in ICAR, like CSIR has also 38 laboratories, and ICAR also have many laboratories. So all
More
these
than 100.
laboratories, yeah, all these laboratories are working on different aspects, or there is a merge in the research area.
99% there is a different aspect, sir, because the thing is in ICR we have these institute committees. Every year it will be reviewed what you are doing. It should not coincide with other research. And the mandate in ICR, if you see the institutes, the mandate of institute itself is different. So if, for example, if you go to some institute like research, some specific institute like Rice Research Institute, they will be working exclusively on rice. Or some banana research institute, they will be completely working on banana, because there is so much of research opportunities and so much work is there. Okay, you and there is very less chance of repeatability, and there was repeatability when uh, internet was not there. now now it is very easy to track it out if there is a lot of repeatability. So at administrative level, it is governed by different systems in ICR, so that repeatability will be reduced and every person will contribute differently.
Yeah, and what is the status of funding in ICAR? Because CSIR is mainly, working on the industrial aspects. And if I'm not wrong, that your area comes under the kind of basic science.
Uh,
So,
yes, sir.
so is there any, a competition for this funding and all, or you will get easily?
Sir, it's actually ICR is mainly funded by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, but the basic work is actually you have to get your funding from DST, DBT. You have to compete with other people, and you have to get, for example, for taxonomy, ICR is funding in in-house projects, but not for their projects which we are really interested. Some projects, because some projects which are really they can't afford so much of money for that. So what we are doing is we have so much of freedom in ICR. You can approach a lot of funding agencies and you can compete with everyone for funding. And but most of the crux of the funding is comes from Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperation.
Okay. So thank you so much. You have given all the answers
Thank you, sir.
to the expectations, and I am sure that most of the participants who are listening this talk, they will get motivated, and they will try to continue their career in the field of maybe agriculture, or any branch of the
Yeah, yes, sir.
agriculture. It is
Thank
very
you.
important.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. It's a unique series, and I really enjoyed it. Because of this, I really gone through my childhood days and all that. I called my school also. So thank you both, you Nitin and Smriti. I really thank you people for giving this opportunity.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much once again, and I wish you all the best for your future endeavors on behalf of our YSL family.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Smriti.
Yeah.
All the
Yeah.
best. Bye bye. Bye, sir. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Dr.
sir.
Smruti, and thank you all of you for listening patiently. And again, in next week, we'll come with another interesting talks and wonderful personalities. See you next week. Bye bye.